The Type 22 class, with NATO reporting name of Houbei class, is the latest missile boat of the People's Liberation Army Navy, or PLAN, and it could be the last. Much of the information about it has not yet been officially released and is still based on estimates. As the weapon detective, we're now investigating the Type 22 class, the first operational catamaran surface combatant. The Type 22 is a missile boat class known for its high combat capability despite its small size. Its unusual shape adds to its intrigue. Since many Chinese naval ships' designations begin with Type O, numerous sources initially refer to it as the Type O-22 class, which is simply a misinterpretation. We decided that the Type 22 class was a logical continuation, particularly as our latest naval system video focused on the Taiwanese Tuojiang class corvette. In the 1980s, the PLAN's missile boat fleet included the Type O-21 and Type O-24 classes, with NATO reporting names of Huanfo and Haegu respectively. They were the domestically built versions of the Soviet Asa and Kamar classes. The YJ-1 and SY-1 missiles on these vessels became outdated in the 1990s. Therefore, China started building the Type O-37 1G and Type O-37 2-class boats equipped with the YJ-8 missiles. However, with their NATO reporting names of Huxin and Hujian, they were too large and slow for the PLAN's missile boat doctrines. Even Western sources described them as corvettes. Furthermore, it was now the era of stealth ships, rendering the previous models obsolete. Rising tensions in the Taiwan Strait during those years revealed the PLAN's need for a new missile boat to replace the Haegu and Huanfo classes. In particular, the wave-piercing catamaran design showed promise for meeting modern naval warfare requirements. However, China lacked experience in this area, whereas the Australian AMD company was among the leaders. Although Australia did not entirely prohibit arms export to China, it had imposed numerous restrictions. Beijing had to play its cards wisely. Technology transfer for civilian use between private companies was free. Initially, China purchased 7 wave-piercing catamaran ferries from Australia. Then, Guangzhou Ship and Marine Engineering Design Institute requested technical assistance from AMD for designing a high-speed civilian vessel. These two companies formed a joint venture, CIWS International, and started constructing such ships. China now possessed the necessary experience. One of AMD's designs, the AMD 350PB, served as the basis for the Type 22 class. The prototype missile boat with the pennant number 2208 was built by Choshin Shipyard in Shanghai in 2004. The company delivered 3 more vessels. Initially, Western analysts assumed that the Type 22 class was solely for experimental purposes. However, within a short time, 6 shipyards across China began launching these boats one after another. The exact number of Type 22 class vessels built remains uncertain. Based on pennant numbers, Janes identified at least 60 ships. Other sources report figures 81, 82, 83, and even 90. It's evident that construction has been completed and the Type 22 class is presently in service with 3 flotillas. The Type 22 class is built using friction stir welded aluminum alloys. China first imported this material from Japan, but after this country imposed an export ban, China began producing it domestically. The boat has a stealthy design. To maintain this feature, the gun on the bow is mounted in an angled turret, and the anti-ship missile launchers at the stern are concealed within an integrated internal compartment. To minimize the infrared signature, the exhaust outlet is positioned beneath the main hull, between the 2 wave-piercing hulls. Additionally, exhaust gases come into contact with seawater, which helps to lower their temperature. The Type 22 class features a high-speed wave-piercing catamaran design comprising 2 slender deep V-hulls on either side and a central main hull. It is the first operational combat catamaran. This design offers stability by resisting rolling and overturning while avoiding the need for ballast. Since it has a smaller hull volume, The boat has less displacement and therefore a shallower draught than monohulls of similar length. It makes the Type 22 class ideal for operations in the rough open seas around the Taiwan Strait and in littoral waters. Due to its lower hydrodynamic resistance, a catamaran needs less propulsive power and produces less wave, making the vessel more protected against wake-homing torpedoes. Thanks to the Type 905 Naval Integrated Tactical Data Link System, the vessel can receive target information from patrol aircraft, helicopters, other ships, and shore radars, enabling over-the-horizon attack capability. The waterjet propulsors provide the Type 22 class with low vibration and noise at high speeds, as well as excellent maneuverability. They are also advantageous in littoral waters. The vessel can execute a 360-degree turn on the spot. Because it is highly automated, the Type 22 class requires only a crew of 12. The boat is equipped with the HRJZ-728 decoy launchers. The complement of the Type 22 class is 12 people. The boat has a length of 42.6 meters, a beam of 12.2 meters, and a draught of 1.56 meters. Its fully loaded displacement is 224 tons. The propulsion system comprises two 3,433 horsepower MTU V16 396 TE74L diesel engines, along with two Conva 71 S2 and two Marich HL 710 water jets. Its maximum speed exceeds 38 knots. The X-band Type 362 air surface search radar of the Type 22 class can detect a target with a 2 square meter radar cross-section at 42 kilometers. Its maximum range exceeds 120 kilometers and its maximum effective altitude is 8,000 meters. It can track 32 targets simultaneously. The Type 22 class also has an I-band navigation radar. The main armament is the YJ-83 with NATO reporting name of CSS-N-8 Saccade. Western experts initially doubted that the Type 22 class could accommodate 8 missiles, citing the apparent size limitations of the missile bay. This assumption was disproven when later exercise footage was revealed. With a 190 kg high-explosive fragmentation warhead, the active radar-homing YJ-83 has a range exceeding 180 km. The missile cruises at Mach 0.9, accelerating to Mach 1.4 in the terminal phase. Some sources suggest that the Type 22 class could be equipped with various land attack weapons, such as the WS-1 or Honnia. However, no footage is available to confirm this capability. If true, the 302mm WS-1 unguided artillery rocket offers the boat a 100 km attack range. Depending on its variant, the Honnia cruise missile can achieve a range of 600 to 3000 km. Its maximum speed is Mach 0.9. The Type 22 class is fitted with a single bow-mounted 30mm 6-barrel HPJ-13 close-in weapon system, the Chinese license-built version of the Russian AK-630. The gun has a rate of fire of 3,000 rounds per minute and an effective range of 2,500 meters. Due to weight restrictions, the Type 22 is not equipped with the MR-123 Wimpel fire control radar, whose NATO reporting name is Bastilled, like other vessels fitted with the AK-630. Instead, the gun is coupled with the locally developed HIOS 300 electro-optical director. This adjustment reduces effectiveness against sea-skimming anti-ship missiles while improving engagement capabilities against surface vessels. Some sources also suggest that the Type 22 class carries manpads to increase air defense capability, but no footage is available. The Soviet Navy commissioned the first missile boats such as the Project 183R Kamar and Project 205 Asa classes armed with only 25 or 23mm anti-aircraft guns. This limitation became apparent during the 1973 Yom Kippur War. When these vessels faced the Israeli SAR-3s and SAR-4s, it was evident that omitting a medium-caliber gun was a poor decision. After the missile duel, many Arab boats were damaged and the Israeli Navy finished them off with 76mm guns without giving them a chance to fire back. Later, nearly all new Western and Soviet missile boats have been equipped with such armament. Why have the Chinese not followed the trend? According to PLAN's operational doctrine, a missile boat is not a patrol boat with missiles, but rather a fast attack craft. As a result, Chinese missile boats are deliberately designed with limited range, endurance, and combat abilities. This enables them to be produced easily, remain inexpensive, cruise fast, and stay concealed as required by their doctrinal role. Each of the northern, eastern, and southern theater command fleets of the PLAN has a Type 22 class missile boat flotilla. Each flotilla operates squadrons of 8 vessels. They form part of China's anti-access area denial strategy and work cooperatively with land-based anti-ship missile batteries and JH-7 aircraft. Their mission is to conduct a saturation attack using hit-and-run tactics rather than engaging the enemy fleet in open battle. Thanks to their shallow draught, the Type 22 class boats can be deployed at various ports and fishing harbors without needing to gather at a large naval base, thereby reducing the risk of being entirely lost fleet-wise in a surprise attack. Their YJ-83 missiles enable attacking targets around Taiwan while operating under the air cover of Chinese aircraft or even within territorial waters. Consequently, the PLAN staff did not require a medium-caliber gun on the Type 22 class vessels, despite the base design. The AMD 350PB originally included a 57mm bow gun. The Eastern Bloc Ecole has never abandoned the fast attack craft tradition, while the leading Western navies gave it up years ago. If you have a large fleet to keep the enemy's navy away from your mainland, why do you need fast and small vessels to defend your shores? Until the 1990s, the PLAN's primary mission was to secure the waters around China. However, China's growing economy increased the importance of protecting sea routes, so the PLAN started transforming from a brown water navy to a blue water navy. Many naval staff were not enthusiastic about this shift, which slowed the process. A pivotal moment occurred in 1999 when the US bombing of Chinese embassy in Belgrade during the Kosovo War convinced Beijing of the need to expand the Navy's open sea capabilities rapidly. By the mid-2000s, Chinese shipyards began building numerous frigates and destroyers, while the PLAN accelerated its aircraft carrier program. Meanwhile, China began commissioning the Type 056 corvettes for littoral water missions. Then, in 2017, photos of Type 22 missile boats docked on land surfaced online, sparking speculation about their retirement and raising questions about whether the PLAN was transforming as the Western navies were. Many countries that have good relations with the USA surround China. Despite expanding its blue water operational capability, the PLAN still retains its coastal protection mission, unlike European or US navies, which focus less on their own coastlines. However, it quickly became clear that these photos depicted routine land-based maintenance, indicating that the Chinese have not yet abandoned missile boats. Since 2020, the Type 22 class has conducted joint operations with lightly armed China Coast Guard vessels. Many experts believe this signals a new operational doctrine aimed at maintaining control over the numerous disputed areas in the surrounding waters, which often escalate into severe crises. Some suggest the PLAN may convert them to unmanned surface vessels. In any case, China seems unlikely to give them up anytime soon. US sources claim that the Type 22 class is not stealthy and can be detected using synthetic aperture radar. It is known that Capella space satellites captured their radar images. However, these photos show the ships at the port. Photographing a moving vessel is much more difficult. Additionally, Chinese sources note that the Type 22 class carries radar signature amplifiers to signal its presence to the rest of the fleet. In a potential conflict, they would obviously be removed. Although detecting reliable information about this stealthy vessel is challenging, we did our best. The Type 22 class has been an essential part of China's naval strategy and appears to remain so. Possible sales to Pakistan and Indonesia indicate that such missile boats remain viable in the doctrines of many other navies. Thanks for watching our video. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button to be notified of our new videos. Also, you can now click the join button to support our channel. And as always, we would greatly appreciate all of your likes, comments, and shares.